Ancient builders left behind puzzles that defy our understanding of history. We are about to explore 25 unexplained phenomena found in ruins across the globe, mysteries that continue to stump the world's top archaeologists and historians. By the end of this journey, you will discover just how much we still have to learn from our ancestors. We will uncover a 2,000-year-old device considered the world's first computer and examine massive stone spheres shaped with impossible precision. How did ancient cultures achieve such feats with what we consider primitive tools? What does our inability to solve these puzzles say about the true capabilities of lost civilizations? The waters off the Greek island of Antikythera yielded a corroded lump of bronze that would become one of archaeology's greatest enigmas. Recovered from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck at the dawn of the 20th century, the object sat for decades before anyone understood its true significance. It was, upon closer inspection, not a statue or a simple tool, but an intricate mechanical device. We now call it the Antikythera Mechanism. Inside its calcified remains, researchers found a complex arrangement of precisely cut bronze gears, some with tiny teeth, all working together in a system of remarkable sophistication. This was an analog computer, a device for calculating the positions of celestial bodies. By turning a hand crank, an ancient user could predict the movement of the sun and the moon, the phases of the lunar cycle, and even the timing of solar and lunar eclipses. It could model the irregular orbit of the moon, a level of astronomical understanding we did not think the Greeks possessed. The mechanism's existence is a profound anomaly. Technology this advanced does not appear again in the historical record for over 1,000 years. Its intricate gears represent a flash of engineering genius that seems to have vanished completely, leaving us to wonder what other knowledge was lost to the depths of time. Just as a machine of gears defied our timeline, a book of secrets mocks our ability to read. The Voynich Manuscript is a 240-page codex, a handwritten book from the 15th century, filled from cover to cover with a script that no one on Earth can understand. Its pages are a parade of the bizarre, illustrated with plants that do not correspond to any known species. You will see tubers and leaves that seem alien, drawn with meticulous care yet utterly unfamiliar. Other pages show diagrams of celestial spheres with unknown constellations and intricate networks of pipes and vessels containing tiny, bathing nymphs. For over a century, the world's top cryptographers and linguists have tried to break its code, and all have failed. They have applied complex statistical analyses, searched for known languages, and tested every conceivable cipher. The text has a structure, a rhythm that suggests a real language, but its meaning remains locked away. Modern carbon dating confirms the book's age, placing its vellum pages firmly in the early 1400s. This scientific verification only deepens the mystery. It is not a modern forgery. It is a genuine artifact from the past that refuses to reveal its truth. Was it an elaborate hoax designed to fool a wealthy patron? Perhaps, but the consistency and complexity of the unknown script argue against a random, meaningless fabrication. Could it be a record of lost botanical knowledge or a treatise on a forgotten system of medicine? The illustrations of herbal and biological scenes suggest a practical purpose, yet the content remains just out of reach. This book is a silent scream from history, a detailed message we can see but cannot hear, reminding us that some secrets are written in a language we have yet to learn. From an unreadable book, we journey to silent stone giants scattered across the fertile landscapes of Costa Rica. The Diquis Delta is home to the Los Bolas, hundreds of stone spheres carved with stunning geometric precision. Some are as small as a child's ball, while others are monumental, weighing over 16 tons and standing taller than a person. Their surfaces are so smooth and their shapes so perfectly round that they challenge our understanding of the pre-Columbian cultures who made them. The people of this region, over 1,000 years ago, somehow shaped these spheres from hard granite without metal tools. How they achieved such symmetry remains a subject of intense debate. Did they use a combination of controlled heat and rapid cooling to fracture the stone, followed by endless hours of pecking and grinding with other rocks? The even greater puzzle is how they moved these colossal orbs from the quarries to their final locations, often many miles through dense jungle and across rivers. Their purpose is just as enigmatic. Some researchers propose they were astronomical markers, aligned with celestial bodies to track seasons. Others suggest they were symbols of power and status, arranged in patterns outside the homes of chiefs to denote authority. A more haunting theory is that their specific placements mapped constellations important to their creators, creating a terrestrial mirror of the night sky. These spheres are a different kind of code, not written in ink but carved in granite. They are a permanent question left on the landscape for us to decipher. High above the arid plains of Peru, the desert floor itself becomes a canvas. The Nazca Lines are a collection of hundreds of geoglyphs, vast drawings etched into the crust of the earth. These are not small carvings. They depict sprawling animals like a hummingbird with wings outstretched, a massive spider, a monkey with a coiled tail, and even a strange humanoid figure often called the astronaut. Other designs are clean geometric shapes, lines that run arrows straight for miles, and immense trapezoids that slice across the landscape. The method of their creation seems deceptively simple. The Nazca people, between 2,000 and 1,500 years ago, removed the top layer of dark, sun-baked pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored sand beneath. This created stark, contrasting lines that have been preserved for centuries by the region's unique climate, a place with almost no rain or wind to erase them. Yet the true scale of these figures is the heart of the mystery. A person standing on the ground sees only shallow paths, grooves in the earth. The full, magnificent form of a condor or a tree is only visible from high above, from the vantage point of an aircraft. This fact has fueled endless speculation. How did the Nazca people design and execute such precise, monumental artwork without being able to see the complete picture? They must have used sophisticated surveying techniques, perhaps with ropes and stakes, to plot out the enormous curves and straight lines, but the why remains fiercely debated. Were these giant markings an astronomical calendar, aligned with the sun and stars to mark solstices and planting seasons? Some researchers see the long, straight lines as ritual pathways walked by priests during sacred ceremonies. Perhaps they were messages to gods in the sky, pleas for water in an unforgiving desert. The purpose of the Nazca Lines is as elusive as the view of them was to their creators, a secret written on such a grand scale that we are still searching for its meaning. While the Nazca created wonders on the Earth's surface, another ancient culture built a monument that seems to defy the Earth itself. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a timeless enigma, a mountain of stone constructed with a precision that humbles modern engineering. Its four sides are aligned almost perfectly with the four cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, with an error margin of less than 1/15 of a degree. How did ancient Egyptians achieve such an exact astronomical alignment using only the tools of their era over 4,500 years ago? The sheer scale of the project is staggering. This colossal structure is composed of approximately 2,300,000 massive stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, with some of the granite slabs inside weighing up to 80 tons. The fundamental question that has echoed for centuries is how these blocks were quarried, transported, and then lifted into place. The conventional theory suggests workers used sleds to drag the stones across wet sand, a method demonstrated to reduce friction. But the final challenge, lifting these multi-ton blocks hundreds of feet into the air, remains a point of fierce debate. Did they use a single, massive ramp spiraling around the pyramid's exterior? Or perhaps a series of smaller, straight ramps built against its sides? Each theory presents its own logistical nightmares, requiring immense amounts of material and labor that push the boundaries of plausibility. Then there is the pyramid's intricate internal anatomy. Beyond the known king's and queen's chambers lie narrow, claustrophobic shafts, some only 8 inches wide, that extend from these rooms towards the outer surface. The southern shafts from the king's chamber were precisely aligned with the belt of the constellation Orion, and the northern shaft with the star Thuban, which was the pole star at the time. These were not air vents, they were targeted with stellar intent. The purpose of the so-called relieving chambers stacked above the king's chamber, 5 layers of immense granite beams, is another layer of mystery. Were they simply to distribute the unimaginable weight of the stone above, or did they hold a deeper, symbolic meaning? Our understanding of ancient Egyptian technology is sophisticated, yet it consistently falls short of fully explaining the Great Pyramid. The techniques proposed by Egyptologists remain largely theoretical, educated guesses that struggle to account for the monument's flawless execution. This is not merely a tomb, it is a machine of stone built with a knowledge we can only partially comprehend. The same sense of impossible precision echoes through the Andes Mountains of Peru. High above the ancient Inca capital of Cusco stand the ramparts of Sacsayhuaman, a fortress whose walls are a breathtaking display of stonework that defies logic. These are not simple stacked blocks. The walls are composed of massive, irregularly shaped stones, some weighing over 120 tons, each one a unique polygonal puzzle piece. Their edges are beveled, their surfaces curved, and they fit together with a seamlessness that is almost organic. The joints between these colossal rocks are so tight and so perfectly interlocked that you cannot slide a single piece of paper between them. This was all accomplished without mortar, relying solely on the genius of the stone fitting. The construction method remains one of history's great enigmas. How did the Inca, without the wheel, without iron tools, and without a written language, achieve such a feat? The conventional explanation involves teams of workers using harder stones to pound the blocks into shape, a process of endless pecking and grinding. Yet, this hardly seems sufficient to account for the flowing, almost liquid way the stones merge. The surfaces are so smooth and the corners so precise that it suggests a lost technique, perhaps involving the application of a natural substance to soften the stone, allowing it to be molded. Even more perplexing is the question of transportation. These limestone and andesite monoliths were quarried from sites miles away and then somehow dragged up steep, mountainous terrain. The logistical nightmare of maneuvering a 100-ton stone up a mountainside using only ropes, logs, and human muscle challenges our understanding of Inca capabilities. The walls of Sacsayhuaman stand as a permanent testament to a knowledge we can see but cannot replicate, a stone symphony composed with tools we have yet to rediscover. Our ancestors may have harnessed a power we thought was lost to antiquity. In the ruins of a Parthian village near modern-day Baghdad, archaeologists uncovered a set of peculiar clay jars dating back nearly 2,000 years. Each jar was about the size of a man's fist, sealed with an asphalt plug. Inside, a rolled copper sheet formed a cylinder, and suspended down its center was an iron rod. To the excavators, it looked like nothing they had ever seen before. When a researcher filled one of the jars with an acidic liquid like vinegar or grape juice, something remarkable happened. The device produced a small but measurable electric current, around 1 volt. This simple combination of materials, a copper cathode and an iron anode submerged in an electrolyte, is the basic blueprint for a galvanic cell. In other words, it was a battery. The immediate question is, what would an ancient civilization need with electricity? One compelling theory suggests these batteries were used for electroplating, the process of depositing a thin layer of one metal onto another. A goldsmith could have used the current from several of these jars to gild a silver statue with a fine, shimmering coat of gold. This would explain artifacts found across the region, delicate metal objects plated with gold that show no signs of the hammering typically used for foil application. Yet this interpretation is fiercely debated. Skeptics argue that no wires or conductors were found with the jars and that the generated voltage was too low for any practical use. They propose the vessels were simply secure containers for storing sacred scrolls, with the iron and copper acting as protective, non-corrosive rollers for the parchment. But if that were the case, why the elaborate, sealed design with an asphalt stopper, a perfect insulator? And why would a scroll container need to be filled with an acidic liquid, as residue found inside some jars suggests it was? The Baghdad battery stands as a profound anomaly. It is a tangible object that fits our modern understanding of electrical science perfectly, yet it exists outside our accepted timeline for such a discovery. If it was indeed a battery, it represents a spark of technological insight that flickered and died, leaving us to wonder what other simple, powerful secrets were forgotten for centuries. Far to the south, in the high Bolivian Altiplano, lies a ruin that makes the stonework of Sacsayhuaman seem almost comprehensible. Pumapunku is not a grand pyramid or a towering fortress, but a low, sprawling platform of shattered andesite and red sandstone. What remains is a field of architectural anarchy, a scene of utter destruction, as if some angry god had smashed a complex of buildings with a colossal hammer. Yet it is in the broken pieces that the true mystery resides. Scattered across the site are stone blocks of such impossible precision that they defy all conventional explanations of pre-Columbian construction. These are not simple rectangles, they are complex geometric forms, H-blocks with perfect right angles and uniform recesses, and stones with a series of identical, shallow slots cut into their surface at regular intervals. The andesite used is an exceptionally hard stone, nearly as hard as diamond, yet it has been cut as if it were soft wood. The edges of these blocks are razor sharp, the corners perfectly square, and the surfaces flawlessly flat. Many of the cuts are so precise, so repetitive, and so clean that they appear to have been made by a machine, a giant milling device or a diamond-tipped saw. This is not the result of pounding with other rocks. The fine, parallel grooves and the intricate, interlocking channels suggest a technique far beyond simple abrasion. How did the Tiwanaku people, over 1,000 years ago, achieve this? They had no iron, no steel, no powered tools. Even with our advanced understanding of their culture, we have no clear answers. The conventional narrative of ancient technology shatters against the cold, hard reality of these stones. Some of the largest blocks weigh many tons and were quarried from a site over 50 miles away across mountainous terrain. Moving them was a Herculean task, but shaping them was nothing short of miraculous. The precision implies the use of advanced templates, a system of measurement so exact that it allowed for the creation of interchangeable parts, something we associate with modern industrial manufacturing. Were these stones part of a larger, prefabricated structure, assembled with a lost system of engineering? The ruins themselves offer no easy clues, only a silent stone puzzle. Pumapunku stands as a brutal challenge to our historical timeline, a place where the stones themselves seem to whisper of a knowledge that has since vanished from the earth. Deep within the soft sandstone hills of China's Zhejiang province, a secret world lies hidden beneath the water. For centuries, local farmers knew of ponds they called bottomless, their depths a local legend. Then, in 1992, a curious farmer decided to pump the water out of one of these ponds, revealing an entrance to a vast subterranean chamber. This was the first of the Longyu Caves, a colossal, man-made wonder that has stunned archaeologists ever since. What he discovered was not a simple hole in the ground, but a staggering underground palace. The scale is almost unbelievable. 24 of these caverns have been found so far, each one carved by hand from the solid sandstone. They are immense, with some chambers reaching heights of 10 stories, supported by massive, evenly spaced pillars that hold up the soaring ceilings. The entire complex covers an area of over 30,000 square meters, a volume of excavated rock that would amount to nearly 1 million cubic meters. To put that in perspective, that is enough stone to build 30 Great Pyramids of Giza. The sheer labor involved is incomprehensible. Every single surface, from the walls to the soaring ceilings to the immense pillars, is covered in a uniform pattern of parallel chisel marks. These are not random scratches, but a deliberate, decorative design of straight lines angled with machine-like consistency. Who had the resources and the will to undertake such a back-breaking project? The historical record is utterly silent. There are no carvings, no inscriptions, no artifacts left behind, and not a single mention of this monumental project in any Chinese text or legend. It is as if 1,000 workers toiled for generations and then vanished without a trace, leaving no story behind. The purpose of these caves is a complete enigma. They show no signs of habitation, no soot from fires, no graves, no storage pits. They were not tombs, nor were they mines, for the soft sandstone had no mineral value. The precision of the architecture suggests a grand, ceremonial purpose, yet we find no clues as to what that ceremony might have been. Then there is the sound. Step into the center of one of these caverns and clap your hands. The resulting echo is not a normal reverberation, but a clear, resonant tone, a pure musical note that hangs in the air. This acoustic phenomenon was no accident. The angles of the walls and ceilings were carved to create this specific sonic effect. Why would an ancient culture go to such incredible lengths to engineer sound in a hidden, underground space? Was this a place for ritual where chanting and drumming would be amplified into something otherworldly? The Longyu Caves are a monument to a forgotten obsession, a project of such immense scale and subtle artistry that its meaning has been completely erased, leaving only the echoing question in the vast, dark halls. These vast, silent halls carved from stone give way to a windswept hilltop in Turkey, where an even older mystery was deliberately hidden from view. Göbekli Tepe is not merely a ruin, it is a revolution in our understanding of human history. This is the oldest known temple complex in the world, predating Stonehenge by a staggering 6,000 years. Its construction began around 9,600 BC, a time when humans were believed to be simple hunter-gatherers, nomadic bands focused solely on survival. The very existence of Göbekli Tepe shatters that timeline. The site is a series of circular enclosures defined by massive T-shaped limestone pillars. These are not small stones. The largest pillars weigh over 20 tons and stand nearly 20 feet tall. They were quarried from a nearby bedrock and then moved, lifted, and set into place by a people we assumed had no architecture, no organized labor, and no complex belief system. Each central pillar is flanked by slightly smaller ones, all set into a stone bench that rings the enclosure, creating a ritual space of profound sophistication. But the true enigma is carved into the stone itself. The surfaces of these monolithic pillars are covered in a stunning bestiary. You will find finely etched reliefs of foxes, cranes, scorpions, and snarling predators. A boar with bared tusks seems to leap from the rock. A lion strides with powerful, muscular grace. These are not crude scratches. They are detailed, artistic, and full of motion, a gallery of the animal world frozen in time. Who were the people who built this? They left no written records, no nearby cities, not even evidence of permanent settlement. They had not yet invented pottery or domesticated animals. They were, by all previous accounts, prehistoric, yet they possessed the collective will, the engineering skill, and the symbolic imagination to erect a monumental sacred site. Why did they build it? The animal carvings are likely more than decoration. They may represent a complex mythology, a spiritual world where each creature held a specific power or meaning, a symbolic language we can no longer decipher. The most profound mystery of Göbekli Tepe, however, is its end. After centuries of use, this incredible complex was not abandoned to the elements. It was meticulously and deliberately buried. Every enclosure, every towering pillar was filled with earth and stone, a task as monumental as its construction. This was not an act of violence or haste. It was a careful, systematic entombment, as if to preserve the site for eternity or perhaps to seal away something powerful. Why would a culture go to such immense effort to hide its greatest achievement? Was it a ritual closing, a final ceremony to honor a sacred place that had served its purpose? Or was it an attempt to erase a powerful religion, to hide a past they no longer wished to remember? The burial is what saved the carvings, leaving them in a state of remarkable preservation for 12,000 years, waiting to be rediscovered. Göbekli Tepe forces us to rewrite the story of civilization. It suggests that organized religion and monumental architecture may have come first, sparking the cooperation and settled communities that later led to farming and cities. The temple on the hill asks a simple, haunting question. What else have we gotten wrong about our own dawn? Across the vast Pacific Ocean, on the most isolated inhabited island on Earth, stand silent giants carved from the heart of a volcano. The Moai of Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, are a forest of stone figures gazing inland with stoic, elongated faces. There are nearly 900 of these statues, each one a unique individual, yet all sharing that powerful, iconic presence. They were hewn from the compressed volcanic ash of the Rono Raraku quarry, a crater that still holds nearly 400 moai in various stages of completion, as if the workers simply walked away one day. The scale of the carving is staggering. The average moai stands about 13 feet tall and weighs around 14 tons, but the largest one ever erected, named Paro, towered at 33 feet and weighed a colossal 82 tons. How did a people with only stone tools, without the wheel or any draft animals, move these multi-ton monoliths across miles of rugged terrain? The most enduring image is of the statues walking, a poetic idea that may hold a grain of truth. One prevailing theory suggests the Rapa Nui people used a rocking, back and forth motion, leveraging ropes to literally walk the statues upright across the landscape. Another proposes a system of log rollers or a sledge that slid on a path of lubricated sweet potatoes. Each method is a testament to incredible ingenuity and coordinated communal effort. But why did they do it? These were not mere decorations. The moai are believed to represent deified ancestors, powerful chiefs who, once erected on a stone platform called an ahu, were thought to channel their spiritual energy or mana to protect and bless the living community. They faced the villagers, their backs to the sea, watching over their descendants. The creation and transport of the moai was the central focus of the island society, a cultural obsession that may have led to its downfall. The island was once covered in a lush palm forest, but as the population grew and the statue construction intensified, the trees were cut down for logs and ropes. This deforestation triggered catastrophic soil erosion, making it difficult to grow food. The ecosystem collapsed and the society with it. The result was warfare, famine, and a dramatic population decline. The final, haunting chapter of the moai story is written on the ground. Nearly half of the statues were never erected. They lie fallen, their stone eyes staring blankly at the sky, a permanent memorial to a civilization that literally broke its back and its environment to honor its past. The silent giants of Easter Island stand in stark contrast to a monument built not from volcanic ash but from a mountain's heart. Far to the north, on the Salisbury Plain in England, the iconic stone circle of Stonehenge presents a different kind of puzzle, one of immense distance and determination. While its larger sarsen stones were sourced locally, the smaller inner circle, the blue stones, hold the key to a truly epic journey. These stones did not come from the surrounding English countryside. Geologists have traced their origin all the way to the Preseli Hills in West Wales, a distance of over 150 miles. Imagine the sheer scale of that undertaking. We are talking about moving dozens of stones, each weighing up to 4 tons, across a landscape of mountains, rivers, and dense forests. How did Neolithic people 5,000 years ago accomplish this? The debate over their method is fierce. One prominent theory suggests they transported the stones overland, using a system of wooden sledges, rollers, and ropes pulled by large teams of people. This would have been a grueling, months-long procession, a communal effort of staggering proportions. Another compelling idea involves a combination of land and water. The stones could have been dragged to the Welsh coast, loaded onto rafts or boats, and then sailed along the coast and up rivers before the final overland leg to Salisbury Plain. This water route would have been less physically demanding, but it introduced the perilous challenge of navigating heavy, unstable rafts through unpredictable waters. The question of why they went to such extraordinary lengths is just as profound. What was so special about these particular bluestones? The Preseli Hills were a source of spotted dolerite, a rock that was likely considered spiritually significant or magically powerful. It was not just any stone, it was the right stone, worth a journey that defies modern comprehension. Once erected, Stonehenge itself functioned as a precise astronomical observatory. The arrangement of the stones aligns with the summer solstice sunrise and the winter solstice sunset, marking the turning points of the year. It was a colossal calendar in stone, a place where the heavens met the earth. Yet the bluestones were the first to be placed, the sacred core around which the later, grander Sarsens were built. Their presence speaks of a deep, enduring connection to a distant, holy landscape, a connection so powerful it compelled a civilization to move mountains one stone at a time. A different kind of sanctuary lies deep within the volcanic rock of Turkey's Cappadocia region. The Derinkuyu underground city is a labyrinthine metropolis carved not upward toward the heavens, but down into the earth, a staggering 18 levels deep. This was not a simple cave network, but a fully functional, self-contained city designed to shelter as many as 20,000 people for extended periods. Its construction is attributed to the Phrygians over 2,500 years ago and later expanded by early Christians, creating a refuge of breathtaking complexity. The entrance was a masterclass in defensive design, a massive circular millstone door that could be rolled shut from the inside, sealing the inhabitants away from any threat on the surface. Once inside, a warren of narrow, sloping passages connected a vast array of spaces. There were living quarters, storerooms for grain and oil, wine and oil presses, chapels, and even stables for livestock. The air within this deep, enclosed world remained fresh through more than 50 sophisticated ventilation shafts, which reached down hundreds of feet to circulate air from the surface. Dozens of wells provided a constant, secure water supply, tapped from an underground aquifer that was inaccessible to anyone above. The engineering foresight is astonishing. Each level could be isolated with its own heavy stone door, a containment system to prevent an invader from gaining access to the entire city. The passages were intentionally narrow and low, forcing any attackers to enter single file and stooped over, making them easy to defend. Why would a civilization invest such immense effort in building downward? The answer was survival. Cappadocia was a crossroads, a fertile land frequently swept by invading armies. The underground city was a perfect refuge, a place where entire communities could vanish from sight, waiting in safety for weeks or even months until the danger passed. The sheer scale of the excavation is almost unimaginable. The removal of millions of tons of soft volcanic rock, all with hand tools, created a hidden world that represents one of history's most profound exercises in communal defense. It stands as a monument not to a culture's power to dominate the landscape, but to its desperate, ingenious will to endure beneath it. France's northwestern coast holds a field of monuments so vast it defies easy comprehension. The Karnak stones are an army of granite sentinels, nearly 3,000 of them, standing in silent, parallel rows that stretch for over 2 miles across the countryside. These are not arranged in circles, but in long, precise alignments, like columns of soldiers frozen in time for over 6,000 years. The largest of these groupings, the Voynich alignment, consists of 11 converging rows with over 1,100 stones, beginning with colossal monoliths standing 12 feet high and gradually decreasing in size to mere 3-foot-tall pillars. How did a Neolithic culture 5,000 years before the Common Era accomplish such a feat of organization and labor? The stones themselves, local granite, were likely prized from the earth using a combination of fire, water, and wooden wedges. Once freed, they were dragged to their positions and then levered upright into prepared pits, a back-breaking process requiring the coordinated effort of hundreds. But the staggering question is not just how they were raised, but why they were arranged with such geometric intention. One of the most compelling theories points to the sky. Many of the stone rows appear to be aligned with significant solar and lunar events, such as the rising sun on the solstices. They may have functioned as a colossal calendar, a terrestrial map of the cosmos that helped these early farmers track the passage of the seasons, telling them when to plant and when to harvest. Other researchers propose a more sacred purpose, suggesting the avenues of stone were ceremonial pathways, walked by priests and pilgrims during rituals to honor ancestors or nature deities. The local folklore offers a more dramatic explanation. Legend says the stones are a Roman legion turned to stone by the wizard Merlin, forever petrified in their marching formation. While a charming story, it does little to quiet the deeper mystery. The true purpose of the Karnak alignments is as layered as the site itself. It likely served multiple roles, a nexus where astronomy, religion, and social power converged. Unlike a single, towering pyramid, the power of Karnak lies in its repetition, its sheer scale, a collective endeavor that transformed the entire landscape into a sacred and permanently enigmatic space. While the Karnak stones stand in silent rows, another ancient city reveals a different kind of order, one that feels strangely modern. Mohenjo-Daro, a metropolis of the Indus Valley civilization, thrived over 4,000 years ago in what is now Pakistan. Its ruins tell a story not of pyramids or temples, but of an astonishingly practical and organized society. The city was laid out in a precise grid pattern, with main avenues running north-south and east-west, intersecting to create uniform city blocks. This was not haphazard growth. This was deliberate, sophisticated urban planning on a scale that would not be seen again for millennia. The streets were wide and straight, with buildings constructed from standardized, kiln-fired bricks of a uniform size. But the true genius of Mohenjo-Daro lies beneath the surface. The city boasted the world's first known comprehensive sanitation system. Almost every house contained a bathing area and a dedicated toilet, with waste channels built into the walls that connected to a city-wide network of covered drains running beneath the main streets. These drains were equipped with manholes for regular cleaning and maintenance, a public health innovation that would be revolutionary even in much later periods. At the heart of the city stood the Great Bath, a large, watertight pool built with precise brickwork and a layer of natural tar to prevent leaks. This was not a simple reservoir. It was a complex structure surrounded by a colonnade and with rooms that suggest it was used for ritual purification, a central feature of the city's social and spiritual life. The great mystery of Mohenjo-Daro is not how it was built, but the nature of the society that built it. In stark contrast to contemporary Egypt and Mesopotamia, there are no grand palaces, no colossal statues of kings, and no monumental tombs. There is no evidence of a single, all-powerful ruler, a pharaoh or an emperor who commanded such works. The city's uniformity and its focus on public works and hygiene suggest a different social structure, perhaps one governed by a council or an organized oligarchy that prioritized communal welfare over individual glorification. This was a civilization that valued cleanliness, order, and shared infrastructure. Then, around 1900 BC, this advanced society entered a sudden and irreversible decline. Mohenjo-Daro was gradually abandoned. The cause remains one of archaeology's great puzzles. Was it a shift in the course of the Indus River, devastating their agricultural base? Was it a slow change in climate patterns that led to prolonged drought and famine? Some have even pointed to a layer of radioactive ash found at the site, a controversial and unproven theory of an ancient cataclysm. The most likely explanation is a combination of environmental factors that slowly strangled the city's lifelines. The silence of Mohenjo-Daro is profound. We have found thousands of artifacts, but their script found on small seals remains completely undeciphered. We can see the fingerprints of their brickmakers, but we cannot hear their voices or learn the names of their leaders. They achieved a level of urban comfort and social organization that seems to defy the era, and then they vanished, leaving behind a city that stands as a quiet, haunting question about the many different paths a civilization can take. Beneath the clear, turquoise waters off Japan's Yonaguni Island lies a site that seems to defy nature itself. A massive, monolithic structure emerges from the seafloor, a complex of sharp, flat surfaces and near-perfect right angles. This is the Yonaguni Monument, a sprawling underwater formation that has sparked a fierce debate since its discovery in the 1980s. The structure, or city, depending on who you ask, features what appear to be vast terraces, wide steps, and towering pillars. One prominent face is a sheer, vertical drop of nearly 90 feet, meeting the base in a clean, sharp corner. There are straight, parallel channels that look like roads and two tall, rectangular pillars that some have named the Twin Towers. The entire formation is a single, solid piece of sandstone, but its geometric appearance is so striking that it feels deliberately designed. The central question is profound and divisive. Is this a masterpiece of natural geology, shaped over millennia by powerful ocean currents and seismic activity? Or are we looking at the sunken ruins of a lost civilization, a real-life Atlantis swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago? Geologists who argue for a natural origin point out that the sandstone in this region naturally fractures along flat plains, which can create remarkably angular formations. They suggest the relentless force of the sea could have carved the steps and terraces we see. Yet, proponents of the man-made theory highlight details that nature struggles to explain. They point to two round holes drilled close together on one rock face, a feature that seems to require a tool. There are what appear to be carved animal reliefs, including a stone that resembles a human face and another that looks like a tortoise. The most compelling argument is the sheer concentration of these seemingly architectural elements in one place. It is the cumulative effect of the right angles, the parallel lines, and the symmetrical steps that creates the powerful impression of a constructed environment. This debate is complicated by the immense challenges of underwater archaeology. The site sits in strong, unpredictable currents, limiting dive times and making detailed excavation incredibly difficult. The structure is also covered in a vibrant layer of coral, which makes surveying a painstaking process and raises ethical questions about damaging a living reef to search for tool marks. Without definitive evidence like pottery, tools, or burials found in situ, the mystery remains suspended in the water. The Yonaguni Monument is a ghost in the sea, a haunting silhouette that could be either a geological marvel or the crumbling plaza of a forgotten people, its true story locked away beneath the waves. A single man, working alone under the cover of night, moved over 1,000 tons of rock. This is the story of the Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida, a monument to lost love and a secret that one man took to his grave. In the early 20th century, a Latvian immigrant named Edward Līdzkalnis, a man who stood just 5 feet tall and weighed barely 100 pounds, began a project that would consume his life. Using nothing but handmade tools often fashioned from old car parts, he single-handedly quarried, carved, and erected massive blocks of oolitic limestone, some weighing as much as 30 tons. The castle walls, towering furniture, and intricate sculptures he created from the coral rock are a testament to a stubborn, almost supernatural determination. He worked mostly at night, shrouding his property in tarps to conceal his methods, and when asked how he managed such feats, he would only offer a cryptic smile and say he understood the laws of weight and leverage. But the conventional laws of physics seemed to struggle here. How did one man lift a 9-ton gate, perfectly balanced so a child could push it open with a single finger? How did he maneuver a 22-ton obelisk into place, or a massive crescent moon that accurately tracks the phases of the real moon? His tools, which were discovered after his death, were primitive. He had chain hoists, tripods made of telephone poles, and simple metal rollers. These could help move a heavy object, but they do not adequately explain the precision, the balance, or the sheer lifting power required. This glaring gap between his simple tools and his colossal achievements has fueled theories that border on science fiction. Some speculate he had rediscovered a lost ancient knowledge, perhaps the same principle of acoustic levitation said to have built the pyramids. Others propose he had unlocked the secrets of magnetism and anti-gravity, using the Earth's own fields to neutralize the weight of the stone. The most compelling clue lies in old photographs that show a strange metal box mounted on one of his tripods, with wires leading to what appears to be a car battery. Was this device, now lost, the key to his power? Did Edward Leedskalnin stumble upon a simple, elegant secret of physics that modern science has overlooked? He claimed he could sense the spin of individual electrons within the rock. Whether that was poetic metaphor or a literal description of his process, we will never know. The Coral Castle stands not as a ruin, but as a completed puzzle, a monument built by one man who proved that the greatest mysteries are not always found in ancient dust, but can be crafted in plain sight by someone who simply refused to tell us how. A different kind of carving awaits in the vast, sun-scorched desert of southern Algeria. The Tassili Enaja Plateau is an open-air museum of prehistoric art, a sandstone canvas covered in over 15,000 petroglyphs and paintings, some dating back as far as 12,000 years. These are not simple stick figures. The galleries depict a vivid tapestry of a lost world, showing herds of giraffe and elephant roaming a landscape that was once a lush savanna, scenes of hunting, dancing, and daily life from a time when the Sahara was green. But scattered among these familiar images are figures that seem to come from another world entirely. They are the round heads, humanoid forms with featureless, circular heads that appear to be wearing some kind of suit or helmet. Their bodies are often simple and geometric, lacking the detail of the human hunters nearby. One of the most famous paintings, known as the Great Martian God, stands over 18 feet tall. It has a perfectly round head with what looks like a single, central eye, and its body is a stark, rectangular torso with arms and legs that seem to be encased in a bulky, form-fitting garment. To modern eyes, it looks uncannily like an astronaut. How do we explain these enigmatic figures? One compelling theory, popularized in the 1960s, suggests they are literal representations of ancient astronauts, visitors from other planets who made contact with early humans. Proponents of this view point to the stark contrast between the realistic animal art and these abstract, technologically suggestive beings as evidence of a real, unforgettable encounter. The mainstream archaeological interpretation, however, offers a different yet equally fascinating explanation. Many researchers believe these figures represent shamanic visions. In many indigenous cultures around the world, spiritual leaders enter trance states to communicate with the spirit world. During these profound altered states of consciousness, they often report sensations of floating, transforming into animals, or encountering powerful, non-human entities. The round heads, with their large, encompassing heads, could symbolize the shaman's own head feeling swollen or pressurized during the trance. The geometric bodies and the sense of wearing a suit might be a symbolic depiction of leaving one's physical body behind to journey into the spirit realm. The art in this view is not a photograph of an event, but a spiritual map of an inner experience. So, are we looking at a record of extraterrestrial contact or a profound glimpse into the universal human psyche? The plateau itself holds its secrets close. The sheer number of paintings created over thousands of years suggests this was a sacred site, a place of immense spiritual importance for countless generations. The artists were documenting their entire reality, from the animals they hunted to the visions that haunted their dreams. The Tassili Enaja art leaves us with a powerful duality. It captures a world in flux, both environmentally and spiritually. We see the slow death of a green Sahara and the birth of human imagination, a place where the line between a shaman's vision and a visitor from the stars becomes beautifully, eternally blurred. Even the Romans, master engineers of the ancient world, built upon foundations that predated them and challenge us still. In the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, the temple complex of Baalbek presents a mystery of staggering weight. While the soaring Roman columns are magnificent, they stand upon a platform that defies all conventional logic. This is the location of the trilithon, 3 colossal stones that form a single course of the temple's foundation. Each one of these blocks is over 60 feet long, 14 feet high, and 12 feet wide. Their weight is almost incomprehensible, estimated at over 800 tons apiece. That is the equivalent of 2 fully loaded jumbo jets. To move just one of these stones today would require the largest heavy lift cranes on the planet, yet they were positioned with perfect precision over 2,000 years ago. The puzzle only deepens in the nearby quarry, where an even larger block lies, partially cut from the bedrock. Known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, this monolith weighs a staggering 1,200 tons. It was successfully quarried, but for reasons lost to time, it was never moved to the site. How was such a block even freed from the earth? The Roman method likely involved carving channels around the stone and then driving in wooden wedges that were soaked with water to make them expand, fracturing the rock along a clean line. But the process of moving these megaliths remains one of history's greatest engineering riddles. The conventional theory involves an army of laborers using ropes, levers, and a system of rollers, pulling the stone along a carefully prepared road. Some have proposed that the stones were actually moved on giant, purpose-built wooden sledges, gliding on a track lubricated with fat or oil. Yet, the sheer mass involved creates almost insurmountable problems. The ground pressure would have been immense, likely crushing any wooden rollers or sinking the sledge into the earth. The coordination needed to steer an 800-ton block for nearly a mile, all with human and animal power alone, pushes the boundaries of plausibility. This leads to a profound and controversial question. Did the Romans truly build this foundation, or did they inherit it? The sheer scale of the trilithon stones is so far beyond typical Roman engineering that many researchers suspect a much older, pre-Roman civilization was responsible. The Romans were famous for co-opting sacred sites, building their own temples atop older, venerated ground. Could Baalbek be one such place? Was this colossal foundation the work of a lost culture with a forgotten mastery over stone? A people whose name and history have been completely erased. The Romans left extensive records, but they are silent on how they achieved this specific feat. The stones of Baalbek stand as a silent, immovable testament to a limit of our understanding. We can admire the Roman temples, but the true enigma lies beneath them, in a foundation of such impossible weight that it anchors not just a ruin, but a mystery that has yet to be lifted. Deep within the crypts of an Egyptian temple, a stone carving flickers with a modern mystery. On the walls of the Hathor temple at Dendera, a series of bas-reliefs show a strange and captivating scene. A large, bulb-like object pointed at one end is held aloft by a pillar. Inside this bulb, a snake stretches out in a straight line. A cable seems to connect the base of the bulb to a box upon which a squatting god rests his feet, while a baboon-like figure holds two knives pointed at the snake. To many modern eyes, this ensemble looks uncannily like an ancient electrical device. The bulb is the lamp, the snake is the glowing filament, the cable is the wire, and the box is the power source or battery. This interpretation, known as the Dendera light, suggests the ancient Egyptians may have possessed a form of electric lighting. Proponents of this theory ask a compelling question. How else did artists and workers illuminate the deep, windowless interiors of tombs and temples to create their magnificent artwork without leaving any traces of soot from torches or oil lamps? The Dendera light, they argue, is the answer, a clean and powerful technology lost to time. Mainstream Egyptology, however, offers a profoundly different reading, one rooted in the complex world of Egyptian mythology. They identify the scene not as technology, but as a symbolic representation of a creation myth. The bulb is not a light bulb, but the womb of the sky goddess Nut. The snake is the sun god, Ra, being born into the world and traveling through the celestial waters of the underworld each night to be reborn at dawn. The pillar is the Djed pillar, a symbol of stability and the backbone of the god Osiris. The box is the lotus flower from which the creator god emerged, and the baboon is the god Thoth, overseeing the cosmic cycle. In this context, the entire image is a spiritual diagram, a map of the soul's journey and the daily rebirth of the sun. This fundamental disagreement is about more than just one carving. It is a clash between two ways of seeing the ancient world. One view looks for practical, technological explanations that resonate with our modern understanding. The other seeks to understand the ancients on their own terms, within their rich and symbolic cosmological framework. The debate forces us to confront our own assumptions. Are we projecting our own technological worldview onto a culture for whom myth and reality were seamlessly intertwined? Or are we too quick to dismiss the ingenuity of our ancestors, filtering their achievements through a rigid, academic lens that might be missing a crucial piece of the puzzle? The stone serpents of Dendera do not give up their secret. They remain forever frozen in their stone bulbs, representing either a profound spiritual truth or a spark of literal electric genius. Scattered across the rolling hills of Laos are thousands of stone vessels, silent and enigmatic. This is the plain of jars, a landscape dotted with colossal carved containers, some standing as tall as 10 feet and weighing many tons. Their forms are simple, carved from solid sandstone and granite, with some featuring a distinct lip around the rim, as if designed to hold a heavy lid. Who created them and why they are here remains one of Southeast Asia's most enduring puzzles. Local legend tells of a giant king who needed to brew vast quantities of rice wine to celebrate a great military victory, and these jars were his fermentation vats. While a charming story, archaeologists propose a more solemn purpose. The prevailing theory suggests these jars were part of an ancient burial practice, used either as sarcophagi to hold human remains or as receptacles for the bones of the deceased after a sky burial, where bodies were exposed to the elements. Excavations have uncovered human remains, burial goods like beads and ceramics, and evidence of ceremonial activity around the jars, supporting this funerary connection. Yet, the mystery is far from solved. How did the Iron Age culture believed to be responsible over 2,000 years ago quarry and move these massive stones? The logistics of transporting a multi-ton jar from a distant quarry to a hilltop are daunting even to contemplate. The jars are not arranged randomly, but are often grouped in clusters, suggesting a deliberate social or ritual pattern. Were different clusters for different clans or social classes? The answers are frustratingly out of reach, buried not only by time but by a more immediate and deadly danger. The Plain of Jars lies in a region that was heavily bombed during the Vietnam War, leaving the landscape littered with millions of pieces of unexploded ordnance. This lethal legacy has made archaeological work perilously slow and difficult. Large sections of the site remain inaccessible, cordoned off and marked with warnings, protecting the jars from disturbance but also shielding their secrets from scientific inquiry. The jars stand as patient, stoic monuments, caught between an ancient mystery and a modern tragedy, their full story locked away until the land itself can be made safe. Another circle, far older than Stonehenge, lies etched into the German soil. The Goseck Circle is a simple yet profound monument, a Neolithic enclosure built by Europe's first farmers nearly 7,000 years ago. It consists of 4 concentric rings, a ditch, an earthen bank, and an inner palisade of towering wooden posts. From the air, its pattern is stark and geometric, but to walk its grounds at dawn on a winter solstice is to understand its true genius. The circle is not merely a sacred space, it is a precise astronomical instrument. Its gates are not placed randomly. 2 opposing openings in the wooden wall align perfectly with the rising and setting sun on the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. A third southeastern gate marks the summer solstice sunrise. This was not a temple for the gods alone, but a colossal calendar for an entire community. Its construction reveals a society deeply attuned to the rhythms of the cosmos. These early farmers, living in a world without writing, needed to know when the days would begin to lengthen again, when the deep cold would relent and the soil would become ready for planting. Their survival depended on this knowledge. The Goseck Circle provided that critical certainty. By watching the sun's slow journey along the horizon, they could pinpoint the solstice with astonishing accuracy. They marked this pivotal turning point not with a single stone, but with an entire architecture of wood and earth, a permanent observatory that connected their lives directly to the cycles of the heavens. This simple ring of posts represents one of humanity's first great scientific achievements, a deliberate communal effort to measure time itself and secure a future from the uncertainties of nature. It stands as a silent testament to the fact that the drive to understand the universe is as ancient as civilization itself. Carved from the hardest of stone, the faces of ancient rulers still command the landscape of southern Mexico. The Olmec colossal heads are a gallery of power and personality, 17 monumental portraits discovered across the old Olmec heartland. Each one is a unique individual with distinct facial features, a determined expression, and wearing what looks like a tight-fitting helmet, often adorned with a personal emblem. They are not gods or symbols, but portraits of specific, powerful people, carved with a stunning realism that brings them shockingly to life even after 3,000 years. The material itself is a testament to their importance. These heads were not carved from any nearby soft stone. They were hewn from single, gigantic blocks of basalt, a volcanic rock of immense hardness. The quarries for this basalt lay in the Tuxtla Mountains, a rugged range dozens of miles away from the swampy lowland sites where the heads were finally erected. Imagine the sheer force of will required to move a single one of these heads. The largest of them stands over 10 feet tall and weighs a staggering 24 tons. Without the wheel, without draft animals, and in a landscape veined with rivers and swamps, the Olmec people accomplished this impossible task. The prevailing theory suggests they transported the raw basalt blocks on massive, purpose-built rafts, floating them down rivers and along the coast, a journey of many perilous miles. Once at their destination, armies of skilled craftsmen would have begun the work of carving, using even harder stones to painstakingly shape the dense basalt into a human likeness. The purpose of these heads seems clear. They were declarations of authority, permanent monuments to living or recently deceased rulers, meant to awe the populace and project the leader's power across the land. Yet the deeper mystery lies in the people themselves. The features carved into the stone are broad and distinctive, leading to centuries of speculation about the Olmec's own origins. The realistic portrayals have fueled theories that they represent visitors from other continents, a notion that mainstream archaeology firmly rejects. The heads are, in fact, a powerful argument for the sophisticated, homegrown development of Mesoamerican civilization. They are the work of the Olmec, the so-called mother culture of the region, whose influence would echo for millennia in the Maya and the Aztec. But the civilization that produced these masterpieces vanished, leaving behind its stone leaders to gaze eternally across a landscape that long forgot their names. Why did their society collapse, and who exactly were these formidable individuals staring out from under their stone helmets? The heads hold their silence, a dynasty of stone kings guarding the secrets of a lost world. One artifact's legend has echoed for millennia, a sacred chest said to contain the very finger of God. The Ark of the Covenant was more than a religious relic. It was a divine weapon and a throne, believed to hold the stone tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments. According to the Hebrew Bible, this gold-covered acacia wood chest was built to precise specifications, topped with 2 golden cherubim whose wings formed the mercy seat, the very dwelling place of God's presence. It led the Israelites through the desert, its power capable of parting the Jordan River and crumbling the walls of Jericho. For centuries, it resided in the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of Solomon's first temple in Jerusalem, a place so sacred only the high priest could enter, and only once a year. Then it vanished. The last definitive historical record places the Ark in the temple before its destruction by the Babylonian Empire in the 6th century BC. When the Jewish people returned from exile and rebuilt the temple, the Ark was conspicuously absent. It was never listed among the loot taken to Babylon, and it never reappeared. Its disappearance is one of history's greatest treasure hunts, a mystery that blends scripture with speculation. One of the most enduring theories claims it was smuggled out of Jerusalem long before the Babylonian siege. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church adamantly maintains that the Ark rests today in the chapel of the tablet in Axum, guarded by a single monk who dedicates his entire life to its protection. Their tradition says it was brought to Ethiopia by Menelik, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Others suggest it was hidden in a labyrinth of tunnels deep beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, sealed away by the prophet Jeremiah to protect it from invaders. Some even speculate it was taken to Egypt or lies hidden in a secret chamber carved into the hills of Jordan. Each theory is a tapestry woven from ancient texts, local folklore, and a deep, human longing to believe that an object of such profound power could still exist waiting in the shadows. The search for the Ark is not merely a quest for gold, but a pursuit of the divine, a testament to our enduring fascination with a mystery that sits at the very intersection of faith and history. While the Nazca Lines capture the world's attention, a far more extensive and mysterious network of ancient paths lies etched into the Bolivian Altiplano. The Sejoma Lines are a sprawling web of thousands of perfectly straight lines, carved into the dark desert pavement and stretching for thousands of miles across the high plains surrounding the sacred Nevado Sejoma volcano. Unlike the animal figures of Nazca, these are pure geometry, a vast collection of paths that radiate from central points, crisscrossing the landscape in an intricate, dizzying pattern. Their scale is almost beyond human comprehension. From the ground, you might see a single, shallow path disappearing over the horizon. But from the air, the true design reveals itself, a colossal spiderweb of lines that covers an area larger than the entire island of Jamaica. Who created this immense network, and what possible purpose could it have served? The lines are the work of pre-Columbian cultures, likely ancestors of the Aymara people, over a period of 3,000 years. The leading theory suggests these were pilgrimage routes, sacred pathways leading to ceremonial centers and burial towers known as cholpas. Imagine generations of people walking these straight lines towards the holy mountain, their footsteps tracing a spiritual map across the earth. Another compelling idea is that they served as a massive communication system. Fires lit at the intersections of these lines could have sent signals visible across vast distances, a kind of ancient optical telegraph network connecting far-flung communities in this harsh, high-altitude world. The lines are a different kind of mystery from Nazca. They are not pictorial but connective. They speak not of images to be seen from above, but of journeys to be taken on the ground, of connections between people, places, and the divine. Their existence forces us to reconsider the very nature of ancient landscapes. This was not an empty wilderness, but a deeply inscribed and purposefully connected territory, a social and spiritual network made physical. The Nazca Lines remain one of archaeology's least understood wonders, a testament to a civilization that saw the land itself as a canvas for meaning, drawing lines of purpose that we are only just beginning to trace. From the cosmic calendar of Gosek to the hidden metropolis beneath Derinkuyu, these 25 enigmas form a constellation of questions without answers. They are not merely forgotten history, they are active challenges to our understanding of human potential. Each perfectly cut stone at Puma Punku, every gear in the Antikythera Mechanism, and the silent gaze of the Olmec heads whispers the same unsettling truth. Our ancestors possessed a depth of knowledge and a capacity for engineering that we are only just beginning to glimpse, and in many cases we still cannot replicate even with our modern tools. These phenomena remind us that the timeline of human innovation is not a straight, predictable line. It is a story of flashes of genius, of entire schools of knowledge lost to time, and of civilizations that rose to heights we never credited them with. The real mystery is not just how they built these wonders, but why we are so determined to fit their achievements into our own limited framework. Perhaps the purpose of these ruins is not to be solved, but to keep us humble, curious, and forever searching. What do you think these ancient puzzles mean? Share your own theories and favorite mysteries in the comments below. If you are captivated by the secrets of the past, subscribe for more journeys into the world's greatest historical enigmas. Our exploration has only just begun.